Welcome to week 4. In this week, we have the midterm exam and the review for the midterm exam. So I'm gonna go over the review for this week for the midterm exam, which include week 1, 2, and 3. So make sure you watch the videos for week 1, 2, and 3 also. Okay? So the review have only 15 questions, and I'm just gonna show you how to kind of refresh how to do this. So going to number 1, we have equation given, and we have to find the slope and find the y-intercept. So this is when you compare the equation of line given in slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. That was the formula. And the number in front of x is the slope, and the number by itself is the y-intercept. So that's what you're going to put here. The slope is the number in front of x, in this case is 2, and the y-intercept is a point 0, comma, the number by itself there is minus 2. So this is my slope and the y-intercept, and then we have to graph it. So you can graph in different ways. I'm going to show you 2 ways. So you can click on the straight line, that's a straight line, and then you can start with the y-intercept, which is 0 and negative 2. So when I click at 0 and negative 2, that's the point there. So I'm clicking at 0, negative 2, the point is right here. And then the slope is 2, which is going 2 up and 1 over. So this is going to be my next point. Okay? And then you can click at the line one more time to graph it. Now, if you want to double check, you can click on line 1. So here, when I click on line 1 here, these are the points I need to get: 0, negative 2, 1, and 0. Now, if you want, you can pick also 2 points. So when x is 0, obviously the y is negative 2, that's the y-intercept. And then you can just plug it in any number. So when I replace x with 1, 0 and 1 are good points to try. So when I replace x with 1, so this is your x and this is your y. So I have the first point is 0, negative 2. Then I'm picking 1, and when I replace x with 1, I'm going to get 2 times 1 minus 2 is 0. So y is going to be, because that's the equation, y equals 2x minus 2. You replace x with 1, and you're going to get 0. So these are the 2 points, and make sure you double check here. The points have to be exactly the same. So after you click on that, you can graph it. So you can just click on that, and that's my graph. And then I can just submit so you can see it right. So that was the first one. Okay. Then you're going to go to number 2, is the same idea. So I'm not going to do this. Y equals negative 5. You're going to put the slope is what? The slope is going to be 0. And then the y-intercept is going to be 0, comma, negative 5. So that's what you get. And then how you graph y equals negative 5. So that's the equation of horizontal line. So I'm going to click on the line again. So I'm going to go to negative 5. I'm going to click at y negative 5 in the y-axis. And then you can just click at any point where the y-coordinate is negative 5. Doesn't matter. And if you look at your line here, when you click on the line, when you click here, you're going to see the y-coordinates have to be negative 5, have to be the same. The x's doesn't matter, you can click at any 2 points x, but the y have to be negative 5 and negative 5. Okay, so that's my graph. Then you're going to go to number 3. On number 3, we have to write the equation of line, where we have given it have to be in the form y equals mx plus b, slope-intercept form. And the slope is 5, and the line is passing through a point, 2 and 3. So I know the swap, so I'm going to replace the swap is 5. So it's going to be y equals 5x plus b. Now we need to find b using the point. So that's the first step. You're going to find b. How you find b? You're going to plug it in. X is 2 from the point, and y is 3. So I'm going to just plug it in this equation. So y is 3, 5, x is 2 plus b. And we're going to solve that equation, and you're going to find b. How you solve it? You multiply 5 times 2 is 10. And then you're going to subtract 10 in both sides. Get b by itself, subtract 10. And that's my answer. B equals -7. So after you find your b, you're going to write the equation. It's going to be y equals 5x minus 7. So that's what you're going to put here. 5x minus 7. Y equals. So let's plug it in. Y equals 5x minus 7. Let's check the answer. Okay, the next one is number 4, where we have given a function and we have to find f of 5. So if you have given a function, you have to, this is the function after the equal sign. So replacing x with 5 is going to give me square root 5 minus 1. And what is 5 minus 1? 4. So we're going to have square root of 4 is 2. So the answer for the first one is 2. And then what is the domain? If you have square root, everything inside the square root has to be greater or equal to 0. That's how I find the domain. So I need to solve x minus 1 greater or equal to 0. And what is x? We need to get x by itself here. We're going to add 1. And you're going to get x greater or equal 1, because 0 plus 1 is 1. And that's going to be this answer. Okay? I'm going to put here 2, and I need to put this answer. Okay? So that was number 4. Okay, number 5 is the same way. You plug it in. In this fraction, x is -8. And then also finding domain of the function. So f of -8 is going to be follow the function, which is this function, 1 over -8 plus 7. And you're going to simplify this, so it's 1 over -1, which is -1. And then what is the domain? For fraction, we have restrictions. The denominator is not 0, so you have to solve z plus 7 not equal 0. And you're going to get z by itself when you subtract 7 in both sides. And that will give me z not equal -7. So that's going to be this answer here. So the same way with any function, if you have fraction, the bottom is not 0. If you have square root, inside is positive. If you have no fraction, no square root, domain is going to be all real numbers. Okay? Then you're going to number 6, where we have fixed cost and variable cost. Then we need to write the function. So fixed cost is something you pay once. So here, what you're paying once? You're paying once the charge, delivery charge. You're paying only once, and this is per foot. So X represents how many feet you're gonna get, and the answer here is gonna be just 23. That's what you're paying, plus delivery charge plus 3x, because you're multiplying how many feet you're gonna order, and then multiply by $3 per each foot, so 3x. So that's the answer here. And then you're going to go to the next one, which is a little more complicated. So for number 7, we're using, we have to find the break-even point. So here we have to solve revenue equals cost. That's how you find the break-even point. And in this case, the revenue is this function and the cost is this function. So we have to solve them equal to each other. So I'm going to start with 60x plus 48 hundredths equals negative 2x squared plus 260x. So I'm going to subtract 2x squared in both sides. I thought you're going to add 2 squared. Because it's a negative, so I'm going to add it to move it over. And then subtract 260x. And you're going to combine everything is going to be equal to 0 because this cancel and this cancel. So we have 2x squared minus 200x plus 48 hundredths equals 0. Now, in order to solve this equation, I can just divide by 2 first to get small numbers. When I divide the whole equation by 2, I'm going to get x squared minus 100x plus 1200 equals 0. Okay, now from here, you can use quadratic formula to solve it. A is 1, B is negative 100, and C is 1200. So this is A, B, and C. And you're going to plug it into the formula. And the formula is negative B, which is negative 400, plus or minus square root. Now, negative 100 squared is going to be 10,000 minus 4, A is 1 and C is 1200. Everything over 2 times A is 2. So first we have to simplify inside the square root. So we're going to get, when I multiply 4 times 1200, that's going to be 4800. And then I'm going to, that's going to be negative, so I'm going to add 10,000. And that's going to be 5200. So this is what I have so far. I have 100 plus or minus square root of 5200. So here we're going to kind of, it says bought in dollars. So we have to, so when I take square root of that, it's going to be 72.111, but we're talking about dollars, so it's going to be 72. And everything over 2. So from here, we're going to split it. So you have, when you do plus, it's going to be 172 divided by 2. And when I do minus, what is 100 minus 72? That's 28 over 2. So that's how you're going to get the 2 answers. 14 is down here. And 172 divided by 2 is going to be 86. So these are the 2 break-even points. And you're going to plug it in. So here we make a little mistake. When I divide 4800 divided by 2 is 2400. So I kind of fix it. I mean, I was like, something wrong here when I don't get the whole numbers. So if you make mistake, make sure you go back and fix it. So 4800 divided by 2 is 2400. So the C is going to be a different number. So when you change it to 2400, you're going to get square root of the square root is going to be 20. And then when you do 100 plus 20 is 120 divided by 2, so that's going to be 60. And when you do 100 minus 20, it's going to be 80 divided by 2 is 40. So these are the two answers. Now, when you plug it in, also make sure you you put the smaller in the top and the bigger in the bottom. Okay? So that's how you do A. You solve revenue equals cost. You move everything the same side and then use the quadratic formula, use ABC, and then solve it. After you solve it, you get the break-even points. So these are the two break-even points. The next one, it have X's because I didn't submit the answers yet, but this is how you're going to do it if you have to find the maximum profit. So the profit function is going to be a quadratic function in this case. And the quadratic function, because of this revenue minus cost, because of this negative, the parabola is going to be up and down. And the maximum is going to be on the vertex, which is right here. So this is the picture you have. You have break-even point here. You have another break-even point down here where the x-intercepts are. And then the maximum is going to be exactly in the middle because the parabola is symmetrical graph. So if I know that this is 40 and this is 60, the vertex is going to be exactly in the middle. So now the question is, what is the middle point between 40 and 60? In this case, it's 50. It's obvious, but if it's more complicated, pretty much this is how you find the middle point. You add 40 plus 60. You add those 2 points and divide it by 2. So 100 divided by 2 is going to be 50. So the maximum, the number of cells which are going to maximize the profit is going to be 50. And then to find the maximum profit, the second answer here is going to be when I replace 50 in the revenue and also in the cost and subtract them. So I need to plug it in. I need to plug it in 50. The number we get here is going to be replaced in the revenue function and also in the cost function. So revenue 50 is going to be negative 2, 50 squared plus 260 times 50. And then you can do the math here. And also you're going to plug it into the cost function, 50. So it's going to be 60 times 50. You're following the cost function plus 4,800. You're going to do both of those. And then you're going to do revenue minus cost. You're going to subtract them to find the maximum profit. So profit is revenue minus cost. Okay, so you can use symbol up or you can just, let's use symbol up. So you have negative 2. Have a little symbol up here. Okay, so I'm going to plug negative 2, 50 squared plus 26 to 60 times 50. And so the revenue we get is 8,000. I'm going to write it here. 8,000. And then we're going to do, let's do the cost when I replace it. So it's going to be 60 times 50. Sorry. 60 times 50 plus 4,800. 780. $7,800. Yeah. Okay. And then going back to my problem here, I need to do 8,000 revenue minus cost. So I have to subtract 8,000 minus 7,800, and that's going to be 200. So the profit is going to be, the maximum profit is going to be, Let's write it. 8,000 minus 7,800 is going to be 200. And I'm going to put those numbers and we're going to check it. So the maximum profit is in the middle between the break-even points. Okay, we got it. So that was the number 7. Okay, then you're going to go and continue with number 8. And in number 8, we have to find the principal of simple interest find the principal if the simple interest after 6 months is 2,079. So here we're going to use the formula for simple interest. It's the interest is principal times rate times the time. And we have the rate, we need to change it to decimal. 5 years and 6 months, so it's going to be 5.5 years. That's the time. The rate is going to be in decimal form, 0.042. So what you're doing, you're just going to plug in the numbers, right? So the interest is, it's given as 2,079, so it's going to be 2,079 equals, the principal is what you need to find. The rate is 0.042, and the time is 5.5 years. You change the 6 months to half of a month, so which is 0.5. And then here we need to get the p by itself, so we're going to divide both sides by 0.042 times 5.5. And you're going to simplify this. So this cancel out. So the principal is going to be when I divide those numbers into a calculator. So I'm going to just plug it exactly the way they are. So I'm going to do fraction 2,079 in the top and 0.042 times 5.5 in the bottom. And then the principal is going to be 9,000 right here. Okay, so that's how you do this. So we get P equals 9,000. So that's what you get there. Okay, and that's what I'm going to plug it in here. So my answer is 9,000. Let's check it out. Okay, 9,000. There you go. Okay, the next one is we have to find the term of a loan of $350 at 4.5%. Simple interest is 63. So here we're using the same formula, but we're gonna we have to find t, the time. So the formula was the interest is P times R times T, that's simple interest. And you plug it in, 63 is the interest. The principal is 350. The rate is 0.045. And then times T. Now, in order to get T by itself, I have to divide 63 by 350 times 0.045. And you can just plug it exactly the way it is, and this cancel. in both sides. And we're just gonna use the calculator in symbol up. And we're gonna get, hold on, I'm just gonna change the numbers. So we have 63 in the top. And down here we have 0.045 times 350. Okay. And we got 63 over there, so we got 4. So the answer is 4 years. And we're gonna go to my answers here, 9 years or 4 years. Okay. And that was right. Okay, we got 4 years. Okay, then we're gonna go to number 10. We have compound interest here, number 10. It's a compound interest. And compound interest, we have a different formula. So here we have 13,000 is the principal. So principal is 13,000. The rate is 3.1%, which is 0.031. Okay, 0.31. And then we have 5 years and 6 months, so that's the time, 5.5 years. And also it says semi-annually, so the first one I'm going to use for A, I'm going to use N is 2 times a year. And for B, I'm going to use monthly, so N is going to be 12. And then here the formula we're using for compound interest, it's A equals P1 plus R over N with exponent NT. So now when I plug that, all the numbers I have, N and T. Okay, so now we're going to plug the numbers you're going to get for A. I have to plug it in 13,000. And then 1 plus 0.031 over 2 with exponent 2 times 5.5. That's what I need to put in the calculator for the first answer. So I'm going to go to symbol up, and I'm going to put here 13,000 parentheses 1 plus 0.031 divided by 2, and then exponent 2 times 5.5. So my first answer here for A is going to be, so now when you round, you're going to have 15396.519. If you have 9, that's going to be 52. So that's the answer for A. And for B, I need to do the same. Just have to change N with 12. So instead of 2 here, and here I'm going to change it to 12. So everything else stayed the same. I'm just going to change 2 to 12. And that's going to change the answer for my compound monthly. So this is the difference we got. So I'm going to write B. The answer is 15413.280. So it's going to be 28. So these are my two answers, and I'm gonna double check it for you guys. Okay, so the first answer for semi-annual is 15396.52. And the second one is 15413.28. Let's double check. Okay, you got it all right. So careful here when you plug it in. Make sure you use the calculator. Make sure you round up. So always look at the third digit after the decimal. Okay, so that was number 10, and we have a few more left. So number 11 is solving a system by elimination. So if I want to eliminate, I have to cancel x or y. So that's what you're going to focus on. So let's say I want to cancel, let's say y. So if I want to cancel the y, I need to multiply the first equation by -2, because in front of y I have 1, in front of the bottom y is 2. So when I get -2 in the top and 2 in the bottom, they're going to eliminate, you're going to get 0. So I'm multiplying the whole first equation by -2, so that gives me -6x minus 2y equals -36. And then the bottom, you're going to keep it the way it is, x plus 2y equals 16. And then you're going to add those two equations, 2y minus 2y is 0. And then -6 plus 1 is -5x equals negative, I need to subtract them, -20. Divide by -5. And that's going to be the x. So we get x equals negative over negative, it's +4. And then after you find your x, you can plug it in one of the equations, doesn't matter, and you're going to find the y. And I'm going to use the first equation. So I have 3 times x plus y equals 18. And I'm replacing the y with 4, the x with 4. So I have 12, so I'm going to subtract 12 in both sides. And that's going to give me the y is 18 minus 12 is 6. So these are my answers. The first place I'm going to put x. So x is 4. So I'm going to put 4, comma, and the y is 6. So always put x in the first place and y in the second place. Now you can eliminate x or you can eliminate y, doesn't matter. You're still going to get the same answer. Okay, and that was right. Okay, so that was number 11. Then you're going to go to number 12. And number 12 we have, it says how long it's going to take you to become a millionaire. So if you won 180,000 and you invest 8% compound weekly. So if you compound weekly, then we're talking about compound interest. And the compound interest formula, we have the principal. It's going to be 180,000. 9%, 8% rate, so that's the rate is 0.08. If it's compound weekly, n is going to be 52 weeks in a year. And the question is, how long? So how long means what is t, the time. So you need to find the time to become a millionaire. So what that means? That means the amount you're going to get is going to be 1 million. Okay? So this is how you do it. You're going to plug it into the compound interest formula and you're going to solve for the time. So compound interest formula is, again, the same formula we used before. A equals principal 1 plus r over n with exponent n t. and plug it in. So I have 1 million equals 180,000. Then 1 plus 0.08 over 52, and everything with exponent 52t. We need to find t. So it's a big equation. We have to get t by itself. So these are the steps. First, I'm going to divide by this number. So dividing by 180,000. Because you want to cancel this. And you get number equals number with exponent. So what is 100 divided by 18? It's so here we can reduce it, so it's going to be 50 over 9. I'm going to keep it as a fraction, 50 over 9. How I get 50 over 9? I cross out 3 zeros and 3 zeros up, 1 more 0 and 1 more 0, and I get 100 over 18. Now, I can divide by 2 up and down. So when I divide 100, divided by 2 is 50, and when I divide 18 by 2 is going to be 9. I'm going to keep it as a fraction because I want to get as precise as possible, okay? Because it says round to 2 decimal places. So this is what I get equals. Now, I need to simplify this. I need to kind of simplify what is 1 plus 0.8 divided by 52. So that's going to be 1 point, and I'm going to keep as many decimals as possible. 1.00153846. And then I'm going to raise that to power 52t. Now from here, in order to get t by itself, we have to go to logarithm. And this is the base. So we're going to get, and when you change logarithm to exponent, the way you did it in algebra is we're going to get from here logarithm. I'm going to write it here. Logarithm with base 1.0015384846. And then of 50 over 9 equals 52t. And then in order to get t by itself, I have to divide by 52. So all these logarithms have to be over 52 to cancel and get t by itself. So this is what I need to put in my calculator. So it's going to look big, but it's not that big when you plug it in. So here I need to put fraction because I'm going to divide everything by 52. So I'm going to press the fraction, and I'm going to put in the top logarithm. So I'm going to press the logarithm, and then you're going to put 1.001534846. And then in the next box, you're going to put 50 divided by 9. And then in the bottom of that big fraction, we're going to put 52. Okay? So I have to look exactly like this over here. And then when I simplify it, I get this number down here. Can you guys see the number? So this number here. So it's going to be 21 point, we need 2 decimal places, so it's going to be 21, I'm going to write here, 21.45148. I'm going to copy everything so I can see, double check what exactly they want. So here we have, it says around 2 decimal places. So we're going to put 21.45 years. Okay, and then that's what you have. So these are the steps pretty much you need to follow. Okay, that was right. So these are the steps you need to follow when you do to find out how many years you need to become a millionaire. Okay, so that was number 12. And then we're going to go ahead and do number 13, 14, and 15. I have 3 more questions left, which are the material from last week. So this is how you do this. Find the dimension. The dimension always was row by column. So you need to see how many rows by how many columns. Okay? So how many rows? 1, 2, 3. How many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 by 4. And that's your answer, 3 by 4. Okay? Now they want me to find what is A22. So that means what is the element in the second row and second column. I'm going to go to the second row and I'm going to go to the second column. And what is the number down here? The number is 4. Then I need to find what is A34. I'm going to go third row. So the first number is row, the second number is always column. So I'm going to go third row and fourth column. What is the number there? The number is 5. Okay? So these are the answers, 4 and 5. And then the next one, oops, no, it's not. Oh, it's negative 5. I didn't see that negative in front. See the number down here. This number is negative 5. Okay? And let's submit that. Okay? That was right. And then we're going to go to number 14. It says find, they give you matrix A. You need to find AT. So AT means we're going to transport a row, become column. I'll write it like this. Okay? So you're going to write, you're going to write 8, 7, 8, 8, 7, and 8 down here. And then you're going to go to the second row. Second row is 6, 2, 6, and you're going to make it a column. 6, 2, and 6. And then you're going to go to the last row and you're going to make a column. 6, 5, and 4. And that's it. You transfer, you change row to column. Okay? And then the next one, the last one here for the review is you have matrix A, you have matrix B, you have to do A plus C. So you're adding the two matrices. So you're adding, so the element here, this number here, is going to be when I add this plus this. So 8 plus 8 is 16. And then you're going to go to the next. We can go row by row or we can go column by column, doesn't matter. So I'm going to look at the one below. I'm going to add 9 plus 5 is 14. So that's the number below. And then I'm going to go to the number in the bottom, which is 5 plus 4 is 9. And then you can go to the next column. We have 7 and 2. 7 plus 2 is 9. The next one is 1 plus 3 is 4. 5 plus 3 is 8. And then you're going to go to the last column. 3 plus 4 is 7. 3 plus 5 is 8. 7 plus 6 is 13. And just add the two numbers and let's see if we make mistake here. Okay, everything is good. So this is how you do hundreds. So I hope everybody gets hundreds in the review. And then the exam, the midterm exam, is due by Sunday, but I'm not going to go over that. Okay, you have to do the exam by yourself, all by yourself. And remember, you got this. Okay?